So anyways, I just thought about something really cool. I was hanging out with a couple of my buddies yesterday. It was like Seth and Johnny and Amy and Rudy and stuff like that. And I'm illustrating a book for one of my uh, old chaps. And I saw one of the illustrations for the book. And it's like, how do you get, so good at art or whatever he said. I said, when I grew up, I pretty much raised myself. My mom was working two jobs. She was never home. My father abandoned us. We were really poor. And so I used art as a form of escapism. And this because I was always by myself. I pretty much raised myself. And then I was just in the bathroom and I was like wringing my clothes because I washed my own clothes by hand because I lived in Thailand for a while. And in Thailand, they can't afford dryers. There's no dryers in the entire country unless you go to Bangkok, I guess. So you get to the point where you have to dry all your own clothes, and I did that for like 11 months straight. So now I just do it. I don't wash any clothes. I don't dry any clothes. And I'm wringing my, my shorts. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, back when I was 7 years old, we were living in a shed at the time. We had like no money. We didn't have enough money for TV. We didn't have enough money for food, really. There was, I remember like every week we had baking soda in the refrigerator, and we would always just buy one turkey for the entire week, and maybe hot dogs, and we would have just hot dogs, like a turkey, baking soda, and apple juice, and that's pretty much all we had, like year round. So we didn't have food really. We didn't have television. And my uncle was an art teacher, so he would have these big rolls of paper he would give me, so I could just draw on with a pencil or a pen. And I remember just being by myself in my living room, like sitting on the floor, without television, without food, just by myself, like very little light, and just drawing on the floor for hours because my mom wasn't there. My dad abandoned us when I was like 3 years old. And I remember just doing that all the time, just being by myself. And my sister was in the other room because she was a reader, and she would just read books all the time, and she would have, she would be in her room reading, and I would be in the living room. Or no, was it the bathroom? Because we didn't have rooms, we were just in a shed, and she would just be reading, and I would be on the floor drawing, just escaping in the art, in the dark. And I was just realizing when I was wringing my clothes that at a very young age, at like the age of 7, I became very much so like a Zen master, where I had nothing, no food, no entertainment, no TV, nobody. And it was just internalizing. Yeah. So I guess I've always been like extremely primitive in that Zen sense, from a very young age 7, maybe even before then. Sometimes when people are struggling in life, and I just tell them that they just need to go through more suffering. I think that there's this woman out there. She says that once you hit rock bottom, the fear goes away. When you hit rock bottom, the fear goes away. And usually when you hit rock bottom, desire goes away too. There's no more desire, there's no more fear. Everything becomes very clear. You're not scared of anything. You're not scared of anything, and everything just makes sense. The world becomes so much more simple. You know what's important. You know what's not important. But sometimes you just gotta go within yourself. Like, I was very fortunate to go within myself at a very young age. At that age, just sitting on the floor drawing by myself with nothing. No one in my life, really. No TV, no distractions, no food, no comfort, no safety, really. Not much love at all. Just sitting there, trying to find an answer. And the answer was Zenism. Chopping wood and carrying water. Yeah, life could be so simple. We make it complex, but it could be so simple. All right. I hope everybody's having a great day. Peace. Later.